The rain poured relentlessly over the dense, alien-infested jungle. Sergeant Jacob "Jake" Matthews, a decorated U.S. Marine, cradled the lifeless body of the young boy he had promised to protect. His tears mingled with the rain as his anguished cries echoed into the stormy night. The boy, Akello, had been more than just a civilian to Jake. He was a symbol of innocence, a reminder of what they were fighting for in this godforsaken war. Akello's village had been decimated by the extraterrestrial invaders known as the Zellern. The creatures were merciless, biomechanical nightmares with acidic blood and razor-sharp tails. They had descended upon Earth without warning, annihilating entire populations. Akello had been one of the few survivors, his wide, hopeful eyes a beacon of resilience in the face of despair. Jake had found him hiding beneath the rubble of his village, clutching a torn photograph of his family. The boy had clung to Jake like a lifeline, and Jake had vowed to keep him safe. But now, that promise lay shattered, just like the boy's fragile body. Behind him, the Zellern creature that had taken Akello's life hissed mockingly, its elongated head glistening in the rain. Its clawed hand reached out as if savoring Jake's torment. The other soldiers in Jake's unit lay dead around him, their bodies torn apart by the alien monstrosities. Jake's grief turned to rage. He gently laid Akello's body down, his trembling hands brushing the boy's rain-soaked face one last time. Then he stood, his bloodshot eyes locking onto the Zellern. His mind raced with memories of the boy's laughter, the way Akello had called him Big Brother, and the dreams they had shared of rebuilding a better world. "This ends now," Jake growled, his voice trembling with fury. He reached for his rifle, slung across his back, and checked the ammunition. The Zellern hissed again, its movements predatory, taunting. Jake knew this was no ordinary alien. This one was a Praetorian, a higher-ranking Zellern with enhanced intelligence and strength. Killing it would not bring Akello back, but it would be a start. The battle that followed was brutal. Jake's years of military training kicked in as he dodged the alien strikes, using the terrain to his advantage. The jungle became a war zone, with Jake setting traps and using every weapon at his disposal. Explosions lit up the night as he lured the creature into mines and ambushes. But the Zellern was resilient, its wounds healing almost as fast as Jake could inflict them. Hours passed, and Jake was running out of ammunition and strength. His body was battered, his uniform torn, but his resolve remained unbroken. He thought of Akello, of the countless lives destroyed by these invaders, and he pressed on. Finally, Jake lured the creature into a narrow ravine where he had rigged a makeshift explosive using C4 and fuel canisters from his fallen comrades. As the Zellern lunged at him, Jake triggered the detonator and dove for cover. The explosion was deafening, the shock wave knocking him unconscious. Jake woke to the sound of silence. The rain had stopped, and the first light of dawn filtered through the jungle canopy. He stumbled to his feet, his body screaming in protest. The ravine was a smoldering crater, and in its center lay the charred remains of the Zellern Praetorian. Jake felt no triumph, only exhaustion and an aching void where his heart had been. He retrieved Akello's photograph from his pocket, now crumpled and damp, and whispered, "I did it, little brother. I kept my promise." As he limped back toward the extraction point, Jake knew his fight was far from over. The Zellern were still out there, and humanity's survival depended on soldiers like him. But for now, he allowed himself a moment of grief, of remembrance. He had lost much, but he had gained a purpose, a reason to keep fighting. And so, with Akello's memory as his guiding light, Sergeant Jake Matthews became a legend among the resistance, a soldier who turned his pain into power and vowed to avenge every innocent life taken by the Zellern.